All right, and we're live. How we all doing tonight? I was planning on doing a gaming stream tonight. Just gonna play some Pac-Man 256 and Oddworld. I just got the first Oddworld off Steam, but I just really was not happy with how it looked playing. Um, it's just so insanely choppy. I just thought it would look like absolute shit. Trying to play, trying to like I did a little test run and it just looked like shit. So I don't think we're gonna do that. I'll try and work out technical difficulties on that. See what we can do for later. But I do got some other content planned for you. Some other top quality content. Um, we got a little bit of Central PA history here in my wonderful stomping grounds. Let's see. James wants to call in. Let's see. Is the desktop audio okay? I'll try him on Skype. I'll try calling you on Skype there. There you go, James. Pick up. Hey, British James, what's going on? I don't think we can hear you. I can't hear you. Is that my Skype settings? I know Skype likes to change the fucking settings on shit. I know, riveting content, isn't it? Um. Uh, okay. All right, James, try now.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. That was just Skype changed the settings on me.
Actually, I thought that was me actually putting my mute button to off as opposed to on, so that might have been me. Don't blame yourself.
I swear every time I take headphones in or out or unplug a mic or something, Skype just decides to completely reset all fucking settings. And they love to make like a microphone the speakers for some reason. Like it's sending the speaker information to microphones.
Yeah, say what you want about Google, they may be spying. Very lovely evening, but Google sort of Hangouts just worked. Like there's a funny meme they used to make with a lot of the sort of like Linux users, where they used to take the piss out of people using Linux. Where it's like Microsoft users install something and it works. Apple install something works. Linux install like five different things, and then eventually you might be able to get a calling card from the CIA because they think you fucking trying to bomb like the Oklahoma building.
Oh,
Like
geez.
it just works.
Well, yeah, nothing just works anymore. Nothing just works anymore. You know, somebody like me that's not, that's retarded with tech shit, you know. I mean, like I'm not gonna sit here and suck my own dick like Davis, where it's like I'm actually a tech genius. It's everybody. It's the tech is degenerate now, and I don't like. Don't get me wrong, the tech is degenerate now, but I don't. I also don't know what I'm doing with it. Like I sit here like, well, I know all the keyboard shortcuts. It's just that they changed them.
It wasn't about the programs, Bechtloff. It was about the friends you made along the way.
Oh,
Also, because I only just kind of missed a stream, and I kind of missed actually your explanation. So, I know obviously you spoke on Facebook. So, was there like a kerfuffle with what
no, no.
happened? Stream?
I did a test run of it, like just a little unlisted thing, and deleted it. It just looked like insanely bad. Like I mean, a frame rate of like one frame per fucking 5 minutes. It just it for whatever reason it was just not working out well. And I was like, I can't try and do this one, especially because like I for some reason the game does not want to run in like partial window. You know what I mean? Every time I boot it up,
Yeah,
it goes full screen. So I'm not going to be able to babysit it. You know what I mean? I'm not
yeah,
going to be like once I start playing, I'm going to be playing for a while. And I'm not going to be able to babysit whether or not it looks good or sounds good or something. So that's why I did a test run. I wanted to try and make sure it was okay beforehand, and it was most definitely not. I'm gonna I'm gonna play around with that a little bit. I don't know why a game from 1997 is having a hard time giving Discord such shit, but there you
So,
go. I guess 1997 it was just the peak of gaming. So there's just nothing
yeah.
else that could be. It can't
Well,
handle anything beyond that.
again, it's some of the laptop pro. I mean, the emulation stuff can be a bit of a pain. I mean, it's
We all know society peaked in 1997. We all know
yeah.
this.
Oh
It
yeah.
was all
I
downhill
mean,
from there.
I've actually, funnily enough, I mean, we're talking about '97 and early gaming. I've actually been playing. They had an emulation of Streets of Rage, which I've been playing on my phone, and it's kind of telling how old I am when I'm playing this game. I'm realizing this game is great, but why does it keep selling me ads for fucking shit I don't want to buy when I'm trying to play a game from the Sega fucking Gen? Well, I'm not sure what disgusts me more, saying Sega Genesis over Mega Drive or saying soccer versus football.
Well, it is the Sega Genesis, of course, and it
Mega
is.
Drive is cooler. Let's be real. Be
It,
objective. What's cooler, Bechtloff? Mega Drive or
look, I'm just
Genesis?
saying, were the Klingons killing all those people because they were trying to get a hold of the Mega Drive device? I don't think so.
Yeah, but well, in all fairness, though, they didn't hear anything as cool as the Mega Drive. And let's also be real. Genesis, actually, that's funny because I know obviously of the Nintendo stuff, and obviously like Robotnik was the American name, and obviously um, Eggman is the Japanese one. Like the Sega, like obviously you had is it the Famicom, which is the Japanese name for the Super Nintendo.
Hmm.
Um, what's actually like in terms of like the Sega names, like what did
I
Japanese
don't
call the
really
Sega
know,
Genesis slash Mega Drive?
but I know that the Genesis slash Mega Drive did insanely poorly in Japan. For whatever reason, it did not do well in Japan. It did well in North America. It did. I mean, for a while, it was beating the Super Nintendo. It did well in Europe. Sega in general did amazingly well in Brazil. The Mega Drive slash Genesis, not so much, but for fuck's sake, they still make Master Systems in Brazil. They still, to this day, make fucking Master Systems in Brazil. It's bizarre, but whatever. Brazil apparently has these massive tariffs on any kind of imports, but Sega managed to get around that by having a toy company in Brazil produce Master Systems. So they just and then they tried to push the Genesis slash Mega Drive in there, and nobody in Brazil understood why they should pay more for another Sega when they already had a Sega. Like literally, like nobody, everybody's like, I guess partially because it's just so second world, but they were
Yeah,
like, do you want it's 16 bits? Like, what the fuck's a bit? Go fuck yourself. Don't you want to play Sonic? And they're sitting there with their 8-bit Sonic. Like, I have Sonic. Go fuck yourself.
yep. Okay, I did actually have to Google this. It took about 12 seconds. Yeah, they called it a Mega Drive in the again the Genesis is a cool fucking title. Like it's not like Ivo, Robotnik, and Eggman, where Eggman is clearly the fag name. Like if you had to call it a console Mega Drive, it sounds cool. Genesis still sounds cool. It's I don't know. I mean, I think the Japanese aren't too picky when it came to the Sega titles.
Yeah, for whatever reason, Sega didn't do well in Japan, which is weird because Sega, the company, eventually would insist on forcing the Japanese lore onto Sonic in all fucking markets, even though that's the market that Sonic didn't take off in. um,
In all fairness, they lost World War II, so don't blame them. They always fail in certain regards.
Somebody says Mega Drive. What are you boomers talking about? We're talking about before society peaked in 1997, which is where
Actually,
we've
I
decided that's when Western civilization peaked.
Chris, I did actually want to say to you, I know you don't like soccer or well, real football as we call it, but if you really want to piss off Fox Day, don't call it American football or football, call it Dying for Israel Simulator. I think that actually might work better.
Oh,
And,
gee.
and specifically call soccer football, because that would piss him off.
Oh, I I remember I was at a bar, and it's closed now, but it used to have great wings in this area called Carlos and Charlie's, like a Mexican restaurant slash bar. And I thought we were alone in there. I was in there with some buddies, and we're in there, and they're playing like girls soccer on the TV. And like when the waitress should take her drink order, I was like, "Hun, can you like put the news on or something? I mean, this is just soccer. Nobody cares. It's not even real soccer. It's girls soccer." And I didn't realize there was a fucking girls soccer team like in the booth in the corner, and I couldn't really see them. I thought we were all alone in there because it was like a Wednesday afternoon or some shit.
So wait,
And like
to interrupt,
one of them like
did
turned
you
around and got all mad and started saying something to me about like, oh, I bet I could beat you at soccer. I can't remember what she was running her mouth. I wasn't listening to her that much, but she's like, I could beat you at soccer. And I just looked at her because at the time I was like, I'm like, I'm out of shape and I'm 30 and I haven't kicked a soccer ball since I was fucking 10. So if I can even put up a fight, that proves my point.
going up to someone who doesn't like football, and I'll say football's in non-American. Like, I'll say for reference, American like football is in American football, soccer is in soccer. I actually have seen some hockey, and I mean hockey seems. I mean, I'll agree with you. Hockey is actually kind of seems actually quite nice as a sport to watch. I would actually argue the best sports when it comes to if you want to talk about I don't remember actually put it on Twitter. I think it was Razorfest. If you want to talk about best competitive sports, if you look at a 1v1 perspective, but it's still technically a team sport, things like cricket, baseball, and I can't remember the other sport. Cricket, baseball, and uh, I lose my mind of that. But when it comes to those sort of sports, I think that's far more interesting than having just like a regular sort of like football, soccer, rugby, whatever you want to call it, team. Like, it just seems like it drags on. I think there's almost like you'd argue when you look at a lot of sports, there's sort of almost a very big definition between a whole team sport versus when you get that sort of very I don't want to quote a Will Ferrell film, mano e mano point. There's almost I think it's more interesting when you look at a 1v1 point in a certain team sport. Like when you watch like baseball's fucking boring. I've seen baseball. Like the fucking place I go for Philly cheesesteaks in London plays baseball all the fucking time. No matter how good the Philly cheesesteak is, the baseball is complete shit. It's fucking boring. Just play fucking always sunny in Philadelphia. That's more interesting. Can you just don't
For
play
some
baseball?
reason, Razorfist fucking loves baseball. Like he's done some video. He's actually done like glowing reviews of like one of the baseball games here recently. Like I want to say like 2017, the show or something like that. But yeah, he fucking loves it.
Well, you'd rate it above American football though.
I don't know.
And it
I
doesn't have as many
dislike American
pauses.
football more for the simple fact that it's shoved down my throat so goddamn much. You know what I mean? Like I
Yeah.
don't know who won the World Series this past season. You know what I mean? Like I don't care, and nobody, the world at large, didn't insist on fucking screaming it at me all day that day. Um, that said, though, baseball's probably more boring to watch.
It's like
I don't
bum
hate
bum
it as
bum
much
bum
because it's
bum bum
not
bum bum, 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 and then
I,
that's it.
I haven't had a bunch of shows I like preempted because of it, so it's not shoved down my throat all the fucking time. So it doesn't bother me as much. But yeah, it's fucking boring. It's way more boring than football. And football's pretty fucking boring. Don't get me wrong. All right, well, I'm gonna let you go because we're gonna watch a video here, and I just don't have it set up right now so that you can watch it with us. But we're gonna watch a very special video on some Central PA, my home state here, the Central Pennsylvania. We're gonna watch some Central Pennsylvania history. That's very very special. So I might bring you in a little later there, James, but for now I'm going to let you go.
I will say before you let me go, is there an Amish wrangling sport we can imagine in PA?
I wish. I wish there was. I wish we could just hunt the Amish for sport in Minecraft, of course. All
In
right. Well,
Minecraft. Good night.
I'm gonna let you go.
And
All right. So we are going to watch a very special video. Um. Somebody says I feel about soccer exactly the way Bechtloff feels about American football. Oh, I don't like watching soccer either. Um, to me, it feels like hockey. It's like watching a hockey game. Someone press slow mo on. That said, though, at least here in the States, because we don't give a shit about soccer here, it's not shoved down my throat all the fucking time, so it doesn't cause me to be annoyed by it. So we're going to watch a very special video here, guys. This is a little bit of Central PA history. This video is just entitled Art 1992. This was from a Central PA, I believe, PBS broadcast. But we're going to watch it. It's going to be great.
WITF TV proudly presents the work of Central Pennsylvania's artists and craftspeople offered for your consideration on Gallery 33. Now, live from our studio and ready for your bidding in support of public broadcasting, the Gallery 33 collection.
Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the WITF studio on this beautiful Saturday afternoon. Thank you all very much for being here, and welcome to the 1992 edition of Gallery 33, this annual event when we celebrate the richness of the artistic talent of the South Central Pennsylvania area.
The next item, number 71. It is a watercolor titled Surfacing by Brian Swords of York. The dimensions 19 inches wide and 24 inches high.
Brian Swords' work sells absolutely marvelously here on Gallery 33. His cartoon characters are delightful, and I think he lets us each imagine whatever we'd like to with these things. These two rats are jumping up out of the water.
And they are having a good time.
They
And
sure
that item
are.
number is 71. It is a watercolor titled Surfacing by Brian Swords of York, 19 by 24 with an assigned value of $75.
75. Somebody pays $75 for that, and they just said it was top selling shit too. It was top selling shit. And I love these poor women that are obviously uncomfortable with it. You can imagine whatever you want, but please don't tell me what you're imagining. Oh. I didn't live in this area back then. I'm happy to say I lived from the age of 3 to 15. I lived down in Southern Maryland. So while this was taking place in the area I now live in, it's not like I accidentally stumbled upon this when I was a kid. Thank God in heaven.
The next item, number 592, is a photograph. Item number 71, the watercolor titled Surfacing by Brian Swords of York. It has an assigned value of $75 and the current posted bid, $50. Item number 5
from Sharon Foster of Marysville. Item number 71, a watercolor titled Surfacing by Brian Swords. The high bid is $75 from Michael Yelsick of York. Item number 5.
Michael, why?
Item 70, watercolor sheets and pillows. You all know him, Brian Swords of York. This piece is 19 inches wide and 24 high. Barbara.
And once again, Brian has sent us another piece that we know is going to sell like hotcakes. His work
I can't get over it. I can't get over these fucking boomers running this PBS thing. Having to act like this is so innocent. Oh, somebody bid it. Somebody bid $75 on the last one. Oh God! Okay, we got it. We got to hear how to describe this one. Good old Brian Swords. Oh man. Oh, he was out there. He was. Jesus. He was out there getting his art out there, guys. He was living the dream.
is just admired and collected by lots and lots of people. It's the kind of a thing where you read it for what it says to you. Very delightful.
You read it for what it says to you. Well, it says to me that one rat is sucking the other's dick. That's what it says to me. I don't know what it says to you, madam. I don't know what you read into it. but that's definitely what I got about it. Oh.
Very
And
delightful.
everyone enjoys it. It's item
Right.
number 70,
I
watercolor
love the
sheets and
candles,
pillowcases by Brian Swords of York. Again, 19 inches wide, 24 high. The assigned value, $75. Item 212, mixed media. It's untitled, Robert Wallace of Liverpool. And this piece is 12 inches wide, 10 inches high.
The artist explains to us
Awaiting the minimum bid of $37. Item 70, the watercolor sheets and pillowcases by Brian Swords of York. This piece is 19 inches wide, 24 high. It has a $75 assigned value, awaiting the minimum bid of $25. Item 212.
By Bonnie Razor of Carlisle. Item number 70, a watercolor titled Sheets and Pillowcases by Brian Swords. The high bid is $52 by Mike Sprout of York Haven.
Item 734 next, a watercolor titled The Smell of Wet Fur by Brian Swords of York. It's 24 inches wide and
The
18 inches.
smell of wet fur. Oh. How do you even say the name without giggling? Good God. Oh, man. Oh, jeez.
Inches high.
Now, this is another in the continuing series by Brian Swords of his very amusing drawings and paintings of
Very amusing.
rats in unusual circumstances. And
Unusual circumstances.
this case, the smell of wet fur, two in a hot tub, obviously enjoying the evening. And what more can possibly be said?
The smell.
What more can what more on network television can be said?
Smell of Wet Fur is a watercolor. It's item number 734. It's by Brian Swords of York. It's 24 inches wide, 18 inches high, with an assigned value of $75. Item number 464. 734 is the next item. It's a watercolor. It's titled The Smell of Wet Fur by Brian Swords of York, with an assigned value of $75 and a current bid of $60. And lastly, the item
From Steve Myers of Hershey. Item 734 is a watercolor titled The Smell of Wet Fur by Brian Swords. The high bid is $77 from an anonymous bidder.
Yeah, I'd be anonymous too. Yeah, I'm pretty sure if I bought that for all my community to know, I'd be like, could you please not use my name when you say that I bought the two rats fucking in the hot tub?
Item number 735 is watercolor Stay Up Late by Brian Swords of York. It's 24 by 18 inches.
Well, Brian's work began in the biohazard.
I forgot what all these look like. I like the rat ass right there. Just we gotta back up a little. I gotta hear how they try and describe.
It's 24 by 18 inches.
Well, Brian's work began, the Biohazard series began as a statement about brutality to experimental animals, and has developed into a whole scene of these rather unusual rats involved in all types of normal.
Oh, God, you're killing me. Oh, this is fun.
Human activities. This normal human activity needs very little description.
All right, that's 735. The watercolor Stay Up Late by Brian Swords of York, and the assigned value is $75.
They zoomed in on the KY.
Those are the items that we have. No, we have 650 here, don't we? And we currently have a $30 bid on that, and we all have stayed up late. This is item number 735, the watercolor Stay Up Late by Brian Swords of York. And our current bid is $60, and that's it. Now, this is going to be your last chance to see these items, and bidding will close very soon, so call back often as you like. But get in now. That's it from Area C.
The assigned value is $100. And I hold in my hand the last piece of art. Item number 69, a watercolor titled Exchanging Fluids by Brian Swords of York. The dimensions are 24 inches wide by 19 inches high.
And this is really, we were saying, kind of a companion piece to the Brian Swords piece that we had up on the table previously. Actually, this one should have come up first, and that should have been the later piece.
I'll bid on both, right?
And anyhow, it also is self-explanatory, certainly.
Once again, our final piece for the 1992 Gallery 33 is item number 69, a watercolor titled Exchanging Fluids by Brian Swords of York. The dimensions are 24 inches wide by 19 inches high. The assigned value is $75. Thank you very much, Averill, and thank you very much, Kathy. There you have it. Pick up the phone and place your bids. We'll close this area off very soon because that's it here from Hamilton Bank, Area B. Item number 701, the oil titled Quiet Lake by Robert Campbell of Marysville. The assigned value is $100, and the current posted bid, we are waiting for our $33 or greater starting bid. And finally, item number 69, the watercolor titled Exchanging Fluids by Brian Swords of York. The assigned value is $75, and the current posted bid is $51. This is your last chance to bid. We'll be closing out this area very soon. Thank you for your bids. That's it here from Hamilton Bank, Area A.
The high bid, $35 from Nicole Irwin of Lebanon. And finally, item 735, a watercolor titled Stay Up Late by Brian Swords. The high bid, $80 from John Togus of Harrisburg. Back to you, Mike.
Thank you very much, Maria. We have
John
one
in
more job
Harrisburg.
for
What are
you,
you
and that
doing?
will be the names of the high bidders from the final area, what was it? Area A of the evening. So those bids are yet to be read.
Is $85 from Diane Neff of Mechanicsburg. And finally, item number 69, a watercolor Exchanging Fluids. The high bid, $80 from John Woomer of Mechanicsburg. And I think that's it, Mike.
Thank you very much, Maria.
She
Thanks
can
to all
barely
of you
keep
who
it
bid, and
together.
of course, thanks to all of the artists
John in
and
Mechanicsburg.
craftspeople.
What are you doing there? What are you doing with yourself? What were you doing with yourself back in 1992? Oh, jeez. So there's a little piece of Central PA history here in the wonderful middle of this wonderful state. Back in 1992, I was a wee lad. I was 9 years old back in 1992. And little did I know what was going on up in PA. Brian Swords selling fucking furry rat shit. Oh, God. Is he still doing this? I mean, Brian Swords? Brian Swords York. It's the first thing. Oh. No, I'm just getting a bunch of public records when I search it. Well, we got another video here. Okay, I think we'll watch this. I believe this is more Brian Swords, so. Okay, real quick, while we got a little break here, sponsor this wonderful evening is Steve's Jerky. Get you some delicious Steve's Jerky. I don't believe Brian Swords purchases Steve's Jerky, as you can see. That's why he's so degenerate. But get you some Steve's Jerky. It's absolutely delicious. Everyone I've talked to, myself included, who's tried it, absolutely loves it. Also down below, you see we got the Patreon, the PayPal, and the Amazon wish list are all ways you can support the show. And you can send a donation via YouTube Super Chats or Streamlabs. So, let's watch some more, I believe, Brian Swords. Here we go. This is from 1988. 1988.
WITF TV proudly presents the work of Central Pennsylvania artists and craftspeople.
This was the
offered for
origin
your
of
consideration
Brian Swords.
on Gallery 33.
Brian Swords Year 1.
And now live from the auction studio and ready for your bidding in support of public broadcasting, the Gallery 33 collection. Gallery 33 turns the spotlight on this special group, which has been awarded judges' citations.
The items at this table are part of 20 works, 10 each in art and crafts, and they have been chosen from nearly 500 pieces overall to receive a special citation from our 1988 Gallery 33 judges. Now, this year's judges were, for art, Randy Plug of State College. She's the assistant curator of the Palmer Museum at Penn State University Park Campus, and also for crafts, Donald Page of Bechtloff, West Virginia. He's a working craftsman, chairman of the American Crafts Enterprises, and a member of the National Endowment for the Arts Task Force on Crafts. Now, these are some of the works of our judges that our judges have selected as among the best in this year's Gallery 33 collection, and we're proud to present them. And here once again to present them is Averill Sheps as our art auctioneer, and Larry Von Baron once again to tell you about the items here. Let's begin, if we may. We'll step back here a second and start with item number 486. This is The Future of Art in America by Brian Swords of York. The dimensions are 24.5 inches wide by 17.5 inches high. The assigned value is $50.
All right, this is the marvelous mixed media work. It's pencil, paper, there are cutouts, there are photographs involved, and of course it's a very, very witty takeoff on the future of art in America. In other words, leaving it up to the viewer to decide whether it's going to be Kunst or kitsch. It's a very delightfully funny piece, and
well, this is not what his art would evolve into.
The composition itself is extremely good. It's a very fine, beautiful piece by this young man named Brian Swords.
Again, this is item number 486. The medium
this
mix,
could actually be
mixed
considered
media, I
art.
should say, titled The Future of Art in America by Brian Swords of York. The dimensions are 24.5 inches wide by 17.5 inches high. The assigned value is $50. We're looking for a minimum bid of $17. Let's start with item number 486. This was the mixed media. It's called The Future of Art in America by Brian Swords of York, 24 inches wide by 17.5 inches high. I'm happy to say it already has a $78 value. It's also one of our overbid items. They'll be receiving the nice group of items I just told you about a few seconds ago. Item number 940.
These are the high bidders for the last area F. Item number 486, The Future of Art in America by Brian Swords. The high bid is $78 from Daniel Sowers of York. Item number 940, The...
Nice to see you, Susie. And Lynn Marsh, our artist friend from Shiremanstown, with us to tell you all about the very nice work here at Hamilton
I think
Area
we gotta
T.
go.
So let's step aside.
Brian clearly had not completely degenerated at this point, so we're gonna try and find, maybe, is there anything later than 1992? So the channel that has all this shit is Owl's the Rat. So we'll see if no, it looks like 1992. We got into 1991 though. Let's see what he was doing the year before. So we're going to watch the 1991 one. Because clearly he had not he had not perfected his craft by 1988. So hopefully by 1991 he had. So let's see.
Gallery
He hadn't
33
found
has
his
been
voice
underwritten by Hamilton.
1988. But boy, by 1992 he had.
WITF TV proudly presents the work of Central Pennsylvania's artists and craftspeople offered for your consideration on Gallery 33. Now, live from our studio and ready for your bidding in support of public broadcasting, the Gallery 33 collection.
And here we are back at Hamilton Bank Area A, the Supremes, folks. Now, over here on our left is Judy McMullen, computer wizard with the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. And inadvertently, I mentioned that Chuck Schultz was the director of ARC, which is the Association for Retarded Citizens. He was the head of their art show. And
Yes.
we don't want to get in Dutch with the bishop's wife by saying that you were, indeed. Well, these are the items that are up for bid. Supremes, folks. Now, over here on our left is Judy McMullen, computer wizard with the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. And inadvertently, I mentioned that Chuck Schultz was the director of ARC, which is the Association for Retarded Citizens. He was the head of their art show. And
Yes.
we don't want to get
Association
in Dutch with the bishop's wife by saying
for
that you were,
retarded
indeed.
citizens. Is that a real thing? Is that a real thing? The ARC for people with intellectual and developmental. Okay, yes, that is a real thing. Association for Retarded Citizens. Is that where we found Brian? I'm just wondering. I'm just asking questions here. Let's get back to our video.
Well, these are the items that are up for bid here at Hamilton Bank Area A. Item number 748. A lot of comment on the next item, 27. This is gouache and pencil titled Objectification by Brian Swords of York. It's 24 inches wide, 18 inches high.
Well, this is from the Biohazard series.
Are we seeing a rat dong in this? Are we? I kind of think we are.
And viewers of the auction are familiar with Brian Sword's work. Here we have white rats, one of them being made an object of worship, one of them on their knees, the other one on a stool holding a cigarette, the female obviously because of the red bow behind her head.
Oh, back then we had
the piece itself is down in the lower right-hand corner. You can see that it's bar-coded, making a statement not only on the piece of work as a piece of art, but also perhaps on the scene itself.
That's item number 27, a gouache and pencil Objectification by Brian Swords of York. It's 24 by 18 inches. The value assigned is $75. Item number 139 is a funded bid, $162. Item number 27 is the gouache and pencil Objectification by Brian Swords of York. And I told you, watch the bidding on this item because these are very highly prized by people locally. This one is 24 inches by 18 inches. The assigned value is $75, and that's exactly what we have. We have an at-value bid at this time. Item number 139 is
Jerry Bahana of Harrisburg. Item number 27, Objectification by Brian Swords of York. The high bid is $80 from Chris West of Harrisburg. Item number 139.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We have for you now the last group of items for Gallery 33 for 1991. You haven't seen some of these things yet, so get ready to bid. Welcome back, if you will. Claire Schenk is our area producer, and Chuck Schultz is our auctioneer. Let's begin, without further ado, with item number 132. This is an oil on canvas titled Sandman Stone Harbor. Number 28 is a gouache and pencil titled Phallocentricity by Brian Swords of York. The dimensions are 18 inches wide by 24 inches high.
Now, this is another of Mr. Swords' famous Biohazard series, a series of paintings of white rats. Here, of course, we have a female white rat denoted by the red bow in her hair, and worshiping, as it were, at the feet of the male white rat who is standing on a red milk carton. There's a lot of humor in his work. There's a message about experimentation with animals, which I think is very clear. And in the lower right-hand corner of it, he's added a bar
Yeah, he's got a red book.
making a comment about art marketing in general.
Number 28, the gouache and pencil titled Phallocentricity by Brian Swords of York. The dimensions are 18 inches wide by 24 inches high. The assigned value is $75. Number 693 is a print titled Number 28, the gouache and pencil titled Try this again. Phallocentricity by Brian Swords of York. The dimensions are 18 inches by 24 inches. The assigned value is $75, and the current posted bid is $50.
Is that it?
Poor
No.
fucking people.
No, there's one more. Get them in.
The suspense is killing us.
28. Just give me a 28. I don't know who the donors are. 28.
Are we still getting high bids?
No.
I just need a negative or affirmative. We still have high bids. Okay.
Item number 132. This is from the last table B, area B. Item number 132, titled Sandman Stone Harbor by Don Winner. The high bid is by Ken Linhart. Duncannon. High bid was $80. Item number 365, Sean 1 by Kerry Whistler Thomas. The high bid was $125 by John Woomer of Mechanicsburg. Item number 28, Phallocentricity by Brian Swords. The high bid was $75 by Robert Booker of Mechanicsburg. Item number 693, Unreal Real Estate by Bruce Johnson. The high bid was $90 by Carol Koff of Ronks. Item number 285 was Turning Point by Dale Gallen. The high bid was $305 by Margaret Lewis of Harrisburg. Item 341, Heather's Hat by Dr. Thomas Stewart. The high bid was $103 by Glenn Wood of Harrisburg. And the last item was item number 741, Daffodils by Barbara Bauer. The high bid was $255, and the high bidder was Thomas Cipher of Shippensburg.
Jim Wiley. Jim, you blew my line. I was about to say these National Guardsmen are so calm and cool under pressure, and you lost it at the very end.
What, a National Guardsman had to do that? The Chad Brian Swords, everybody. Hadn't truly found his voice until 1992. Good God. Oh, I wonder if you can find more of this shit on YouTube. Biohazard. Brian Swords. Probably not. Yeah, looks like Art in 1992 was probably the peak of it. So that was there you go, folks. I hope y'all expanded your horizons. That's it's called the Biohazard series because it's paused. Oh. Oh, what the hell else? Good God. Art 1992. Yeah, I don't have any. I don't have any more of that. Unfortunately, that was it. That was it. God. I still have my starting soon up. I'm such a retard. All right. Well, I think I'm gonna see if James wants to hop back into the call. See if British James is still available. Let's see. Dog snoring in the background there. Hey, British James, did you enjoy broadening your mind with all that wonderful art?
Oh, sorry, I wasn't watching. I was eating crisps.
Did you?
What did I miss?
Did you enjoy broadening your mind with that wonderful art?
If you're talking about the Pennsylvania art, I'm not gonna lie. I feel like Brish, you've come into like a child. You've just come into me watching this art, asking, "What's the answer to this question?" And I have absolutely no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, we were watching some furry sell art on PBS back in 1992.
Wait, furries existed back then?
Yes. I got look up a video called Art 1992 on YouTube. You'll see it.
Wait, were they steampunk furries?
No, it was like two white rats, like humping each other in bed, and they're selling this on fucking PBS auctions in 1992.
Yeah, that surprises me. It reminds me, actually. I mean, I can't remember actually. I was looking at a Terror House magazine Twitter, and we were talking about I think I can't remember the account. They were doing is it glow in the dark nigger bingo? They were trying to figure out who would be the best glow in the dark. So you've obviously got Richard Spencer, you've got Mike Enoch, you've got a lot of people which I don't know about. And I was actually looking at some of the early Aryan stuff, and I'm being honest. Do you know how you can tell the early Aryan stuff wasn't glow in the dark? They hated gay people. Look at the early sort of what's that guy's name? Who's the English guy interviewed? Is it their most hated family in America? Have you seen that documentary?
I don't know.
He's the British guy. I can't remember his name, but essentially he started interviewing a lot of the Aryan Brotherhood types, and most of them hated gays. Funnily enough, most of them end up now being homos.
Oh yeah, the Aryan Brotherhood is insanely homo at this point.
No, but back in the 90s, apparently they weren't. But then again, this same interview actually was 2 weeks off interviewing the do you remember that cult, the one that sort of drank the Kool-Aid? You know, the bald guy that actually did some, is it the Angels Arc videos?
Are you talking about the Heaven's Gate cult?
Yeah, this guy, how can I forget the guy? You know, Louis Theroux? That's his name. Louis Theroux actually started interviewing a lot of the Area 51 type guys, because I know you're going to have a lot of Naruto runners going into Area 51 in September. But Louis Theroux was actually due to interview a lot of the Heaven's Gators during the same month which they actually killed themselves. So the BBC actually did Heaven's Gate. I feel like I accidentally escaped into the wrong interview.
Oh, you missed it. I thought you were watching it, because you should.
No, I skipped out on it, for other reasons. I didn't actually think I was going to come on.
It was special. It was very, very special. Good God. I wish there was more of it. I wish you could still find this guy's stuff. Like, I can't really find it when I look online, but... Yeah, like...
As Chris angrily taps into his laptop.
Okay, so Biohazard is on the Wiki for Biohazard, aka Brian Swords, is a furry artist. He's best known for a popular YouTube video titled Art 1992, which has several pieces depicting two anthropomorphic rats engaged in sexually explicit actions are displayed during WITF's Gallery 33 auction. And that is all we seem to have on the guy. Damn, he's just
Well, the problem with the '90s stuff, there's a lot of sort of especially when you look at the I don't know if you remember watching a lot of the early sort of well, it wasn't even America when it was actually Internet Aristocrat. Do you remember any of the early streams he used to do with Blackface Kermit? Is it the guys? Is it the Chicken Hawk guys?
Blackface Kermit was the one guy I know he did stuff with.
Yeah, he still occasionally streams if you look at Blackface Kermit. But do you remember some of the is it Uncle something? I can't remember the guy that Blackface Kermit used to do the voice for. It's on the it's actually but it's actually on the it's a spic name. It's on one of the early Internet Aristocrat streams where he has Blackface Kermit doing the it's probably one of his best streams. I think Jim's current streams are complete shit. Let's not forget this. All of Jim's current streams are complete shit because there's basically half of a stream and it's basically reading out super chats. Look at his stuff when he used to actually have Blackface Kermit on. And,
he gets so much super chats. Yeah, dude, you.
It's fucking boring. It's honestly, and I'm not blaming him because the guy gets money. He's a good.
Oh yeah.
So fuck it. If he wants to get money, he gets it. But let's be real. Even when it was providing content, his Internet Aristocrat stuff when he used to have, as you say, Blackface Kermit, even fucking, is it Queen of Pole, what the fuck his current name is, King of Pole? That shit was fucking excellent. But if you look at, I can't remember Blackface Kermit, he did a voice, is it Uncle Paulie, something like that shit. There used to be a fucked up documentary about a guy who used to like fucking stalk kids. But that early '90s shit is fucking creepy. It's almost X-Files tier because X-Files was the same fucking decade.
Yeah, like there was an internet and even commercially available, but not that anything but the uber nerds had. And you know, it was an internet where, you know, to send a single picture took 40 fucking minutes.
Basically a tin can. You've got to stream the fucking. You got to shout the fucking bits down a fucking sippy cup.
Somebody in the chat says my girlfriend is on level 74 so far in Dr. Mario World without any in-app purchases. Well, she's pretty good at it then, because it does try to force you to grind.
I doubt the girlfriend. It's just me.
This guy, Brian Swords, was active in Fur Affinity as recently as 3 years ago, it seems. Damn. He seems to be gone now. There's a LinkedIn profile for Brian Swords. Where does it say here? Something like Brian Swords, CEO of Biohazard or something like that. That's just special. Alright, well, that's about all I wanted to cover tonight. I don't have anything really to talk about, but I did want to put out some content there for y'all. Alright, let's see. If you enjoy the content, do consider supporting the stream. We got PayPal, Patreon, and Amazon wishlist. Always you can do just that. And, what else? What the hell else? Oh, yes, check out the sponsor, Steve's Jerky. Good stuff. And that's about it for tonight, folks. Want to thank you all for listening. Oh, what were you saying to Brian?
I was going to say, remember, Dr. Jordan Pearson does highly recommend Steve's Jerky.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does. This is a fact. We can all confirm.
Yep.
All right. That's about all we got for tonight, folks. I want to thank you all for listening. Bechtloff out.